Now, I've shared with y'all in the past videos that before 2024 ended, we was going to see some shit that we have never witnessed before from the supernatural. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to the next two news clip that follows my brief commentary. I've told y'all that before the year end, and I'm not talking about December 31st or the year beginning January 1st. Our new year begins in April, in spring, when everything is back alive. So before the year ends, according to man's calendar, 2024 ends, in the spring, we're going to see some shit that we have never witnessed before. And I personally think that it has begun. So watch this and let me know what y'all think in the comments section. Don't take my word for it. The Most High is sending his recon mission or his recon scouts to scout out what's going on here.
What is behind those drones in New Jersey continues to grow. It has some people living in fear, with civilians and even some lawmakers wondering if a hostile foreign government is behind the flying objects. Fox 5's Teresa Priolo joins us live from Summit, New Jersey tonight with the very latest. Teresa.
Yeah, see, this debate here has been something of a great unifier in New Jersey. Just tonight, I've heard from people in Montville, Verona, as well as here in Summit. And while this time of year, we normally look up trying to catch a glimpse of Santa, tonight, it's not him. At least, we don't think it is. No. The latest sighting in New Jersey happening high over the skies of Summit, New Jersey. Some call them drones. Others question if it's foreign adversaries spying on us. The Pentagon says it's fixed-wing aircraft.
We have not been able to, and neither have state or local law enforcement authorities, corroborate any of the reported visual sightings. To the contrary, upon review of available imagery, it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully.
It doesn't matter where you go in New Jersey, people are talking about whatever is floating high above us. And some, including our federal lawmakers, aren't totally convinced it's a friendly eye in the sky.
I've been a little frustrated. There hasn't been enough transparency, letting people know what's happening. It's allowing a lot of potentially misinformation to spread, or at least fear.
Senator Cory Booker joins forces with New York lawmakers to demand transparency from the FAA, the FBI, and Homeland Security. Feelings that are echoed by New Jersey's Attorney General.
The feds need to help. This is clearly a federal issue. They need to step in and help.
If you're keeping score, the Pentagon says it's not us and it's not a foreign adversary, and they're not all drones. There's no legitimate evidence the sightings are otherworldly. So what are they? Bill Daley is a former FBI agent.
Well, I think we all kind of sometimes think that could be the cover story, that it is actually a kind of a black op run either by the military or being run by a military contractor. However, I also would say is that given now the notoriety and now all eyes are up in the sky looking for these things, is that if you were running one of these operations, whether it was kind of a beta test of some new technology or equipment, you would think they would have kind of receded from that and said, it's too hot, too many people are on this, too many questions being answered. I think we're going to pause on this.
Now, the FAA started reporting sightings here in New Jersey in mid-November. And some say these devices are as big as a bicycle in the sky or even a small car. Steve, we also want to mention, we heard from friends in Westchester tonight. They're seeing drones as well. So at least around these parts, whatever this is, people just want answers. That's the latest from Summit tonight. Back to you in the studio.
Yeah, for sure. Makes sense to me.
This video last night. These lights over his hometown in Davidsonville, just 25 miles from the nation's capital, as he pointed out. And then there's this.
I've never seen them. Wow, you just passed each other. Yeah, I've never seen them before.
New Jersey Senator Andy Kim shared this video of drones he shot yesterday. Federal authorities insist most of these sightings are actually legally manned aircraft. But Senator Kim says he checked a flight tracker app while capturing this video and that the devices he was capturing were not on it. The sightings are happening near LaGuardia Airport, too. Officials say they received unconfirmed reports of drone activity over that busy airport. As for numbers, the FBI says it's received more than 3,000 tips from the public about drone sightings going back to November 18th, all over New Jersey. Since then, there's been an average of 92 sightings per night and expanding across half a dozen states. In a joint statement, the FBI and Department of Homeland Security said, quote, "We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or public safety threat, or that they have a foreign nexus." Lawmakers, however, aren't buying it and are pushing for answers and action. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and 2 other senators wrote a letter calling for a briefing with the FBI and Homeland Security. While in Connecticut, Senator Richard Blumenthal says the devices should be shot down if they can't be identified. And we've learned that House Speaker Mike Johnson did get a federal briefing on the sightings, as have Senate staffers in a few select offices. But other than that, there's been very little transparency. So what's going on? Is this some contagious mass hysteria? Or are people really seeing something that our government cannot identify? Our own Rich McHugh went out drone hunting in New Jersey. He did not come back empty-handed. Rich, tell us what you saw.
Hi, Elizabeth. Well, I got to be honest here. You know, when this story first came out a few weeks ago, as a resident of New Jersey, as a journalist, I didn't pay it much credence. I thought it would turn out to be a bunch of pranksters and this would all be over by now. The experience I had last night, however, changed the way I feel about this story completely. What I saw was more sophisticated than I ever imagined. Take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 lights, 6 lights. I didn't believe what I was seeing, but what was I seeing? We're here in central Jersey. We've been looking for the past hour. I think we've seen about 40 or 50 of these drones. In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there. One after another, these drones appeared in the night sky. If you look real close, they look like fixed-wing aircraft, about 8 to 10 feet wide, colorful, white blinking lights.
That is not a plane.
Definitely not an airplane, but what was it? Hours earlier, I was invited to join the Ocean County Sheriff Department. They launched their own drones to see if they could intercept the mysterious aircraft New Jersey residents have been reporting in recent weeks. The department says these mystery drones evade detection because they don't give off heat like regular drones. Why do you think that is?
We don't know. It's just something that we haven't, it's not something that we've had our hands on. It's not something that we've experienced.
Something they hadn't experienced until now. One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat and they reported seeing 13 following their boat. And then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
Can I see one right here? Did I see the same thing that officer saw? I'm still not sure. What I can show you is this video. What I can tell you is I've never seen anything like it before. And more than a month since these reports started, the federal government doesn't know what they are either. What's your message to the White House?
My message: come to the Jersey Shore. I know it's wintertime, but come see what we see, and then, maybe have a better appreciation for why our residents are concerned.
The Ocean County Sheriff, that drone unit, they have an industrial-grade drone. They put it up. They were tracking one of these drones, Elizabeth, and they said this thing easily evaded them, disappeared out of thin air. To me, if this is not our military, then it's even more scary, and we need answers, frankly.
All right.